Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is YouTube. This is Pastor Dow. You often hear me talk about how truly straight and how truly narrow this walk is. And you have to understand, coming from this type of perspective and this mindset here in this country, the minds of Americans, and I'm very familiar with the minds of Americans. Somebody will say, well, Pastor Dow, you are an American. Yeah, I was born here in this country and stuff, and I have a lot of American things that have been tied to me and stuff. But what I do is I embrace my culture because I realize I am in captivity. And that's the understanding I know. And, you know, everything about my life, my morals, my values, the way I comprehend, understand, persuasions, the way I do things. It all comes because I'm a student of the Word. I really, truly follow the Bible as best as the Most High gives me understanding and revelation to do. Most people out here want you to follow what they believe is truth, what they agree or disagree with. Totally irrelevant. They don't care what the Scripture says. And that's the cancer of this particular spirit here in this country, because it has given people the illusion that they're servants of the Most High God. That's like, for instance, Jacob. Jacob, you know, when you read the Bible, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, do you know that's only one family out of all of the families of the earth, and they were the smallest? Now, contrast that to today. How is it that all of a sudden the Christians, the Jews, the Israelis, Judaism, and all these other people who have no genetic link at all to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, not even in the family, how is it that all of a sudden they are the people? How is it that it's mind-boggling? But if you don't study to show yourself approved, you won't know this. You can continue to keep choosing to perpetuate a lie, but that's what people do. But you know what I want to deal with here this morning is I want to deal with the people who continue to say with their mouth that they love Yahweh. They say with their lips that they love Yahshua. And see, Paul in his day already had dealt with this particular type of spirit with Titus. He was giving Titus instruction over in the first chapter, and he told Titus, a few things that I want you to understand, because he's giving Titus and Timothy and all these younger men that was younger than him instructions, things to watch out for people. And it would do you well if you yourself would pay good attention to those instructions that was given 2,000 years ago, and realize that man has not changed one bit, because people will ultimately deceive you. Yes, they will too. They would have you to think, because they say with their mouth that they are Israelites, that they really truly believe in the way. But no, the truth is they believe in themselves. And they look for things to confirm what they have accepted and what they have chosen to believe. Not that they're really truly looking for the truth. I'll give you an example, okay? In Titus 1:16, it says, that means it's a particular type of people. So realize this. Paul is an Israelite, a Hebrew of Hebrews of the tribe of Benjamin. Now, with understanding, with people who understand that, we realize that there's the northern tribes and the southern tribes. When he says he of the tribe of Benjamin, that means he is also associated with Yehuda or Judah, because Judah, Benjamin, and Levi consisted of the southern tribes of Israel, my family, my blood family. All right. Now, he's speaking with him, and I'm going to try to bring it up to today. He says, there's particular people, they profess, meaning with their mouths and their lips, that they know Yah, and that's the deception of today, because we live in an abstract society where people have mentally persuaded their minds into believing that they love the Father. And they have all but convinced themselves that they can love him in word, love him in mind, and they don't have to have any deed or any lifestyle or anything that is associated with the family of Israel in their lives. You see, that's why I say Christianity is a good drug. I mean, it's more powerful than heroin. It's more powerful than crack. It's more powerful than meth, because you literally have to be on some type of spiritual drug to believe it. All you have to do is, rather than getting offended with me, just investigate the things that I say. Or maybe some people are too afraid because man are, they are inherently religious. But, people are not going to, they're not going to stop declaring that they know Yah, because at one time they had an experience. Well, I can show you in the Bible, there's a lot of people that one time had the experience, but then they fell away. Did they ever deny? No, they didn't deny. But there was a reason why that they never denied. Because again, it's about deception and you deceiving your own heart and your own self and convincing and persuading things in your own mind. It's just something else that is going on. But Paul said to Titus, they profess that they know Yah. But here's the kicker right here. In works, they deny him being, look at this, abominable. And that word abominable means they are detestable people. That's why you have to pay attention to fruit. And I was talking to a brother this morning, and I said, when people come to the ministry, almost 90% of the people, let me evaluate this. 95% of the people who ever come to the ministry here Straightway, they don't fall away because of the ministry itself, meaning what I preach and what I teach and how I live. They fall away is because they have associations, unhealthy associations, with people who have refused to transform their minds. People who have refused to transform their lives. Most of you can't tell one bit that you are really, truly an Israelite, because there's no difference between you and the people in the world. There's no difference between you and Christians. So what happens is you get these unconverted people who've had a feeling or emotion experience. That's why you must pay attention to fruit. Because people will deceive you all day long with their lips, because they're not going to deny him with their lips. They'll never do that. But you watch their lifestyle, you watch their character and their nature, you watch and see how they carry themselves, and that would tell you everything you need to know about people. Well, anyway, as much as I try my best to warn, as much as I cry out, as much as I try my best to tell people that this is the acid test right here. You watch people, you see what they do. Pay attention to fruit. Pay attention to fruit. You don't go out here and plant an apple tree and expect to get an apple tree. That is contrary to nature. You have to plant an apple seed in order to get an apple tree. Does that make any sense? It's just that simple. It really, truly, it is. Same thing with people. By their fruit, you should know them. They can say anything. People will have you believing that they are the one and only person that loves the Messiah more than anything in this world. But in works, they deny him being abominable, meaning in their lifestyle, in their character, in their speech, their persuasion. Why? They are really detestable people. It's hard for one person who is detestable in nature to discern someone else who is detestable. That's why I say when we have these meetings, we have feast days, we have meetings, and then we have gathering of the saints throughout the year, every year. You ought to pay attention, real close attention, to the company you keep. And then also the company that gravitates around you. Because everybody's not operating after a righteous spirit. Just because they come here does not mean that they are righteous. None whatsoever at all. No, they don't. No, that does not mean that they're keeping y'all's law just because they come here. And you people have got to stop letting your guards down and falling under these illusions and delusions that people are mesmerizing you by. I'm a good communicator. My exchange and flow of communication from myself to you, it flows very well. The problem is when you're not taking heed to what's being said and applying those principles to your life, because you're ultimately going to have somebody that's going to get upset about something, and they're going to come and seek you out because you are a ground conducive for bacteria. And they're going to spit in your ear. And then you're going to end up being offended, and you're going to end up blaming the ministry because of what these people say and who they are and their character, and you're going to go away. And that's what happens 95% of the time. That's why I boldly get on here in front of this video camera and say, and I'm communicating to you. There's not one person in this world, not a one, zero, not a one that can personally tell you what I have done to them. They cannot tell you the transgression that I personally have done to them. Are y'all hearing that? Are you listening to it? What happens is they hear something they don't like. They may perceive something through the knowledge of good and evil, the evil eye, that they may don't like. And then they begin to function as if what they so-called hear and perceive is reality truth. And then they begin like a cancer, like a negative conductor. They go out and they start looking for other sources that they can spew that bacteria and that foam out to. And then anyone that hears them, they end up getting offended and they end up going away. A lot of you, unknowingly, ignorantly, have a lot of blood on your hands. And you're not going to be told in this life because we're too stubborn, we're too stiff-necked, we're too stout-hearted, and we're too rebellious to submit to godly order. So it's not going to be until the judgment day, because some of you are so cold-hearted and callous that you're not going to be able to talk back against the Father, because he's not going to have that mess. He's not going to have it at all. There's going to be one mode of communication in you as well as I. We're all going to be in a receive mode. But I tell you all the time, you pay attention to noise. Listen to what they're saying. Exercise some discernment and see if the testimony is true. See if it's so. And then the biggest thing is, rather than paying attention to the deflection that they're doing, because anytime somebody's pointing a finger, they're actually removing the finger off of them. And we all have been trained and manipulated in this society right here, that when people speak, especially if it's a woman, and she starts crying, or she starts showing any emotion, oh, most of you people are gone. You're finished. You're done for. You're literally done for, boy. I mean to tell you. And whoever she is speaking about or talking about is done. It's over. And don't get me wrong. You have wicked men, just like Judith had to deal with. You have wicked men. Susanna had to deal with. You have wicked men that will seek to tear up the character of a woman. And because they are men and they believe they have a voice, they will do everything they can to put some type of abominable mark on her. I tell you what, we are in a serious warfare. But this is the war and the fight that we're in. And I say it many, many ways, 1,000 ways, more than one, and stuff to try to get you to understand. But you need to start paying attention to those who are pointing the finger. Peer into their lives before you rush to judgment. Remember the law to those of you who want to be righteous and will obey it. One witness shall not rise up against another, but out of the mouth of two or more witnesses, not hearsay, witnesses, every word shall be established. You know, one of the commandments that is transgressed on a daily basis in this society is that you should not bear false witness. You should not bear false report. You should not be speaking evil against your neighbor. And because you heard somebody else say, 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 what kind of intelligence do you have? That's why when the Messiah comes along, when Paul comes along, they continue to keep telling us about truth. They tell us how our spirits should function. By their fruit, you should know them. Most people make the mistake in thinking that Paul is actually, when he, in his letters, they are letters, they are not scripture. And this is where many people go off. They think that Paul in his letters are actually trumping scripture because they don't have any understanding. When Paul is speaking spiritually, trying to tell everybody out here that the wicked condition and the blackness and the darkness of men's hearts. And it just happens to be some of you. I know people that have been in the faith, allegedly, so-called a long time, at least with their mouth they do, but you pay attention to their lifestyle and you watch them. You know, a common saying I say around here straightway all the time is this. You mean to tell me that you've been listening to me preach and teach all these many years, and what I'm looking at and what I'm seeing and discerning is the best example of holiness that you can produce? Look at the devil, and the devil is a damn liar. You better believe it. I tell you. But anyway, back to what I meant here this morning. I hope that you're gaining understanding. You need to start paying attention to people. They profess that they know Yah, but in works they deny him, being abominable. And notice, these are people who profess now, disobedient. In other words, these people are totally impersuasible. I mean, they're just disobedient. They ain't planning on obeying. But remember, with their mouth, they profess that they know him. They profess. I told you, nobody who is contrary denies the Father. Go read the scripture. Go read them. Israel didn't deny the Father when they were trying to cohabitate and coexist with other gods. They didn't deny that Yahweh was the King Supreme, but they were celebrating and worshiping these other gods. That's what people are doing today. It's just that you can't see the idolatry because you had the natural idolatry, but nobody sees this spiritual idolatry that is sitting right here in the hearts. So they profess that they know Yah, but in works, in lifestyle, in conversation, in speech, in the way they carry themselves. Their conversation is not that which becometh of holiness. They don't have a true, an honest, a sanctified, and a holy disposition about themselves. Pay attention to the character of women. Do they actually meet the conditions of a virtuous woman, a chaste keeper at home, a holy woman, a modest woman? You don't see too many there today. What about men who would take care of their responsibilities, not be running out with the boys and stuff and carrying on and stuff, but they would actually provide for their own house? Because if you're a man and you don't provide for your own house, you are worse than an infidel and worse than someone, and you have also denied the faith. Oh, now notice, they have denied the faith. Why? By not providing. Will they with their lips stop saying that they're Israelites? No, that is the hook in the jaw. That is the deception for a lot of people. I don't know, how else can I say this, Father? How else can I put this out there that people can begin to see what's really, truly going on? Because the heart is evil above all things and desperately wicked. It's deceitful above all things. It is desperately wicked. Who can know it? Yah does. That's why he gives us his word. So we can try the hearts, try the reins of it, so that we are not deceived. I tell you, we are in trouble in the time we're living in. Most of you are saddled up with the deception of these hypocritical family members. They may love you, but they don't love Yah. You don't believe me? Watch them. See what their level of service to the Father is. Oh, brothers and sisters may say that they love Yah, but they don't love you. And the scripture says that they are liars, and the truth is not in them. Many people out there thinking that they can be in total contention with the elders and the brethren of the land and stuff, and they can say they love him, but the Bible clearly says you are a liar. And the truth is not in you. And so myself, we call you a liar, we call you a liar, and then we tell you why you are a liar. And most people don't like this. So these people don't have enough force or strength of breath. They do not have enough force or strength of breath, no integrity and honor. So they would try to rebuke elders through text messages, emails and stuff. Well, I'm easy to find. My elders are easy to find. Be a man. Man the hell up. But hey, we are emasculating this feminist world, like where Jezebel and Elder Doug has done a wonderful newsletter that's coming up here pretty soon on the feminization and the emasculation of mankind, and how that Jezebel is ruling through the feminist movement, which is seeking to totally dominate mankind. They profess that they know Yah, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work. They can't do it. Every good work, Every good work, every good deed, when there's an opportunity to do deed, they can't do it unless it has something to do with their own wicked little family. Other than that, they can't do it to them. It's amazing. But to every good work, they are reprobate. They are reject. They are not approved. They are unfit for the kingdom. Unapproved for the kingdom. They're just totally detestable and reprobate. Does this fit a lot of people you know? Does it fit you? Do you profess that you know Yah? But in works, lifestyle, conversation, you deny him. Being abominable and disobedient unto every good work, reprobate. I would venture to say that almost 90-something% of the people who profess that they know Yah fall into this category. What say of you? Well, we're dropping truth here. We're dropping truth. You know, if you're going to be righteous in the law, first you have to come with a viable accusation. And then, according to our scriptures, the only way something is true is when those who are accusing give the one that is being accused the opportunity to face their accusers. Social media networks has all but deceived us, hasn't it? Hadn't it all but deceived us? I hope that I have said something to stimulate thought. I hope I said something this morning that will help your spiritual growth and understanding. And this is all to try to recover, or maybe even put a block in front of the way that people will not stumble and fall. I mean, put up a wall, because most people will stumble and fall at the testimony of false witnesses because they do not know what the scripture says, nor the power of Yah. You better be careful. You better be careful, because Satan is using the ones that you are the closest to. And that's the truth. And that's the truth straight way.